Even though it seems like Drake was already totally destroyed after Kendrick's barrage of diss recordings a few weeks prior, we just witnessed yesterday as whatever was left of him was totally destroyed by Kendrick, with help from numerous outside sources. In case you didn't notice, one of the greatest rap and pop performances of all time was Kendrick Lamar's pop-out extravaganza at the Forum in Los Angeles last night. In addition to performing timeless hits like All Right and Element, Kendrick also brought out legendary past collaborators like J-Rock and Schoolboy. He also brought out LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and a whole lot more. It appears as though Drake is enraged by how popular the event itself was, and how many celebrities switch up on him. He even went on to perform Not Like Us a total of 6 times at the event in front of 70,000 people, and the entire audience was bouncing throughout, which shows how much the diss song is loved.
I'm so grateful to be able to tell my kids in the future that not only was I alive when this happened, but I was also awake because I'm on the East Coast and we were up until almost 11 to stay up. It's been almost 13 years since the West Coast rappers passed the torch to Kendrick. I don't think he or they knew how big his legacy was going to be in the future. And last night he cemented it yet again. For him to bring the entire West Coast rap community together, to bring every single person of the diaspora globally together, whether we were at the show or at home watching on a live stream, to do all of that on Juneteenth, that is legacy. This is the photo that we are going to be hanging at our house.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notification bell. This way you'll never miss out on any future celebrity videos similar to these. In addition, Kendrick performed a brilliant trick by inviting Dr. Dre to take the stage. Dr. Dre ended up performing songs he's written with Kendrick, and acting as the catalyst to start what was going to be an incredible carnage fest for Drake.
I'm gonna just take a moment of silence for this one. Psst, I see dead people.
It seems like this was the culmination of the whole Drake rap beef, like dropping the diss tracks and witnessing Drake essentially concede as one thing. But to see all these significant figures gathered on one stage, all going ham dancing to the song that won Kendrick the beef, is just a whole new level of hate. Kendrick went ahead and did his best Travis Scott impression, watching the throne 6 times, just continuing to run his diss track back to back. Whatever was left of Drake was destroyed because prior to this, everything was done online and through numbers, which gave Kendrick the victory. However, with the group of figures on stage and the entire LA Forum joining in to express their dislike for Drake, you can actually see how many people actually detest him. Even more bizarre about this entire pop-out show is how many people support Kendrick, whom Drake would likely consider to be one of his acquaintances. LeBron, who has previously engaged in great relations with Drake, was present, and Kendrick even invited Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan to the stage to perform Not Like Us, which is like the final dagger in Drake's back. If you didn't know, DeMar DeRozan is an NBA player best known for his time spent playing for the Toronto Raptors. Because of this, he ended up spending a lot of time with Drake. By Kendrick bringing out DeRozan for Not Like Us is one of the best jabs at Drake throughout the entire feud. You could tell that this was the turning point for Drake's supporters, as they realized how huge and unfair the victory was for Kendrick. DJ Academics, who is known as one of Drake's biggest meat riders, was in complete shock when he saw all these different figures coming out to support Kendrick's diss track on Drake. He then got so enraged he stated Westbrook will never win a ring after backstabbing Drake.
Sometimes you gotta hop out and certified boogeyman. I'm the one that up the walk you down whole time. I know he got
Westbrook, you'll never win a ring, nigga. You'll never win a ring.
Say Drake, I hear you like him.
Once the show concluded, many were left with questions. The most noteworthy of these concerns is why, despite the fact that Kendrick and Keem's collaborations are some of his most well-known works, Keem was not invited to perform as a guest or included in the set list. At first, we assumed Keem was simply absent, but after the show, we learned that he was in fact present. We've been hearing rumors for weeks that his new album is supposedly coming out soon, so I was a little confused when we didn't hear anything new. In addition, there are rumors that Drake is going to release a project to rival Kendrick. It seems like the two of them are playing a kind of Cold War chess game with the release of their albums. So maybe Kendrick was playing a calculated move by not releasing any new music previews, and instead focusing on the songs that caused the most harm to Drake's career. The Drake diss song Euphoria also features a brand new lyric added by Kendrick Lamar. Opening the set on Euphoria, Lamar threw in the new line, "Give me Tupac's ring back and I might give you a little respect." It alludes to the ring that the late musician Tupac Shakur once owned, which was bought at auction by an unidentified buyer who turned out to be Drake last year. Before we go any further into the video, what are your guys' honest thoughts on this entire situation? Where does Drake go from here, as the Pop-Out show was the most concrete, clear evidence of who came out on top in the feud? Does he release his album the same time as Kendrick's, or maybe slightly earlier? Comment down below. Speaking about Euphoria, Pusha T recently gave his stance on the track itself. Euphoria features a standout line from K. Dot, who raps, "Let me see you push a T." The distinctively toned line alludes to Drake and Pusha T's violent feud from 2018. Push was questioned about his response to this famous remark in a recent interview with Vulture, where he was joined by his brother No Malice. "Before you go, I have to ask about a lyric," music reporter Craig Jenkins said, before refencing the bar. Pusha replied, "Incredible. Incredible display. Incredible display of battle raps. Listen man, Kendrick." No Malice interrupted Push before he could complete his sentence, describing Kendrick's stanza as a masterclass in rapping. DJ Mustard recently went behind the scenes for the making of the Not Like Us beat and what really went down. In a recent Billboard interview, the Los Angeles-based producer explains his contribution to Kendrick Lamar's diss anthem. "I heard the song when everyone else heard it. I never heard it before. I wasn't in the studio with him. I had never heard that song." When discussing the source of inspiration for his most recent beat, Mustard states that, "When I was making it, in the back of my head was, what would Dr. Dre do if Lil Jon was in the studio and they were collaborating on the beat? That was my thought process. It took me approximately 30 minutes to make that beat," he adds. "I didn't know Lamar was going to gas that beat like that." DJ Mustard even went on to say he never knew the song would become so big and the biggest in his catalog thus far. "I got into a place where I'm just gonna send Kendrick Lamar like 5 beats a day. He never responded until like 12 at night and was like, 'This is fire,'" Mustard says. "I don't think I even understood how big the song was until it got to #1 and I was like, this is the biggest song of my life. But I was just happy to have a song with Kendrick." It's actually insane how quick Not Like Us dominated the charts, as within 1 week alone it gained over 70 million streams and went straight to #1 on Billboard Hot 100 charts. Drake seems unaffected by the situation last night, even though Kendrick Lamar was on the West Coast and gave 5 performances of his Drake hate song, Not Like Us, at the Pop-Out concert. Drake shared a selfie on his Instagram story early on Thursday, June 20th, just hours after the Pop-Out. Ken and Friends concert concluded at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. Drizzy tweeted the selfie of himself with the caption "Summer League" at around 4 in the morning. His demeanor was somewhat amused, as if he didn't care about what had transpired at Kendrick's gathering hours before. It'll be very interesting to see what transpires as a result of the recent Pop-Out show, and if it incentives Drake to push his release and come out with some heavy-hitting tracks, or whether he'll see this as a reason to take a longer hiatus. Either way, we'll be sure to keep you all updated. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.